Ready to talk about this bracket, though.
All right, well, shoot, man, let's get into it. We're gonna do a little Sweet 16 preview, a little recap of the first 68. So, without further ado, my name is Corey Hilliard. The man next to me, Brandon Hill, aka B Hill. We're the house divided. You've been here before, you know what it is. If it's your first time, me Casa, Su Casa, but whether you've been here before, or if it's your first time, my boy B Hill gonna get you with the house rules. Get them, B.
You guys already know. Drop down there, become a part of our House Divided family. We're at 62 subscribers right now. We're getting about 10 to 20 views per show. So please hop down there, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and while you're at it too, go ahead and like it. That way it can help with the algorithm to get us out there on those platforms where more people are going to be able to view our content. And last but not least, guys, this is the thing that helps us out the absolute most. Hop down there, comment section. Good, bad, right, wrong, and different. We don't care one way or another here at the House Divided. That's just how we roll. So, as I was alluding to at the beginning right there before Corey did his intro, this tournament, man, it's just basically been flipped upside down on its head. Nobody's bracket is looking good right now, especially those that are dumb enough to pick Purdue to win it all. So, I mean,
What can you say, bro? A lot of chaos happened, dog, in the first weekend. It's just what it was,
did.
man.
It did. But at the end of the day, you still got Alabama that's in it. You still have Houston that's in it. Houston versus Miami in that Sweet 16 matchup, that's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to point that out. Like, just sitting here looking at the bracket, and then you got Xavier and Texas that are going to play. And then you got Creighton and Princeton. The 15 seed Princeton is in the Sweet 16. So there's your Cinderella story. There it is.
With the glass shoe, bro. Sitting there looking pretty. Who would have thought? The boys from the Ivy League. You know what they don't do at Princeton and Ivy League schools, though? Did you know
What's
this?
What's
they
that?
They don't give out athletic scholarships at that school, B. None of those kids are on the athletic scholarship. You're talking about a bunch of future finance guys, accountants, doctors, lawyers, who just went out there and who did they take out? They took out the they took out Arizona.
Arizona
to the Final Four. Then they came back around.
They routed
Missouri.
They routed Missouri 78-63, my guy. That's a 15-point game in basketball. That's you got your ass whooped. You got whooped on. That's a whooping. So you look at that and everything, and you got Creighton, Princeton sitting there in that Sweet 16. I like what Creighton's been doing as well. I mean, they beat an NC State team from the ACC. You know this, Corey. You being a North Carolina fan, me a Duke fan. NC State's always kind of one of those grimy, tough teams that are always kind of coached well. They just don't necessarily have the talent, the stars and everything to be able to win something. But they beat them in the first round, and then they turn around and they beat a good Baylor team out of the Big 12, which we call the best conference in college basketball, Corey.
Yeah.
So it sets up for a Sweet 16 matchup with Creighton and Princeton, man. And I'm leaning definitely towards a Creighton in this game. I just think that they're a more rounded basketball team than Princeton is.
Yeah.
So that's who I'm going to be picking to move on to the Elite Eight, and they're going to be facing the winner of the Alabama-San Diego State game, which I think me and you and many others are going to pick Alabama to win that game. But don't be surprised if San Diego State sneaks in there and shocks the world in the Sweet 16. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't be, man. They got a really, really athletic team, bro. I watched both of their games, bro, and those dudes can hoop. You know what I mean? It's one of those schools that are traditionally have really athletic. That's where Kawhi Leonard comes from. I forget the other name of the other guy who came out of San Diego State, but man, they got really good guard play. I like the guy Parrish. from San Diego State. I forget his first name, but dude, he's a baller. You got the kid Butler, Trammell. Man, those guards, they have really good ball skills. They can put it on the floor. They can shoot the three. Although they didn't shoot it that good against Furman, they still played really good, man. I like that team.
At the end of the day, though, Brandon Miller is the best player in college basketball as of right now.
Left in this tournament? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not even close. It's not even close. No. I mean, yeah, he got in all that legal stuff, everything else, but it's like, man, that dude's playing basketball. Whenever he plays basketball, they win. So, I don't know. That's why a lot of people have Alabama cutting down the nets. I wasn't one of those people. I'm still not.
No, I didn't have them. I had them coming out the Final Four. I had them getting to the Final Four. That's my only team in my Final Four that's still left. But I had them going down to Duke. So with that being said, I think we go ahead and move on to this East region and talk about what happened in this East region. Because this is a lot of where the insanity ensued, bro, if you just want to be honest.
That Duke Tennessee game. That Duke Tennessee game.
Oh,
I just want to kind of recap that. Freaking Duke sucks. That's why I told you, man, I'd be surprised if they made it to the Sweet 16. They were just a young basketball team. Tennessee, they're coached by Rick Barnes. Rick Barnes is the old coach that used to be at Texas. He always won games and was always relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, Tennessee's a tough basketball team. Now Tennessee goes on to the next round. Think if Duke could have beaten Tennessee, man, FAU. Florida Atlantic. Tennessee's set up to go to the Elite Eight right there. But down at the bottom half of that bracket, you got Kansas State and Michigan State playing in that other Sweet 16 game, Corey.
I thought Duke would have beat either one of those teams, bro.
Man, well, you were wrong, I was wrong.
Purdue losing in the second round. I was not high on Purdue. They couldn't even. They're calling it the biggest upset because Fairleigh Dickinson didn't even win their conference championship. And what happened was the team that won their conference championship has only been a D1 school for like 2 years, and you got to be D1 school for 4 years to be eligible to get in this tournament. So that's the only reason Fairleigh Dickinson got in, bro. And Purdue completely wet the bid, dog. And I knew they were going to wet the bid at some point. I thought I had them in the second round losing to Memphis.
Memphis did too.
Yeah. And so, like, bro, you just look at all the upsets that happened this past weekend in this bracket. FAU, who had never won the tournament game, beat Memphis. You had Kentucky losing to K-State, which really wasn't an upset, but I didn't think K-State was going to win that game.
K-State's got a good basketball game. They
do got a good team. Vermont didn't give Marquette problems, but Marquette rolled up and lost to Michigan State.
That didn't surprise me.
Anybody that had Michigan State beat Marquette.
I did.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, on my bracket, I have Michigan State beating them. Yes.
Wow.
Because Michigan State's always one of those teams that come tournament time, Tom Izzo has his boys ready to play, and they're ready to go. Like, they're seasoned veterans in this game. They always make it to at least the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. More often times than not. Sometimes they lose in the second round. I mean, you can tell me that, yes. But at the end of the day, they're always a solid opponent in the tournament. As a Duke fan, I hate playing Michigan State. Like, them sons of guns,
hard, man.
They always rebound well. They always defend well. They play great defense, and they're always good on the fast break. And with their point guard, they always have a point guard that's a floor general. If you think back to it, I mean, they always have somebody that's manning the point guard position. And Tom Izzo just works it from there, man. And they usually have like a big, tall, white dude that's like 7'2" underneath the freaking basket. And it's just, they're just one of those teams. You know what I mean? That's where Tillman, that plays for Memphis, went to, everything else. So
Xavier Tillman, yeah.
I'm just saying all that. I got Kansas State beating Michigan State though in that game. I think Kansas State's going to move on to the Elite Eight. I think they're a better basketball team than Michigan State, and I think their talent is going to get them to the Elite. Kansas State is a basketball team that's like kind of one of those sleepers to me. They got a good basketball team. I'm not saying they're going to win it all or anything, but they're just one of those sleepers to where they might be able to sneak into the Final Four. Because if you think about it, Corey, they win that game, they could possibly go up against a Tennessee. So it's between them and Tennessee. Who you picking?
Tennessee was actually like a top 5 team for a good part of the season, man. And they kind of fell off at the end. I think they lost like 5 out of their last 7 coming into the tournament. They play hella defense, man. Rick Barnes, who used to be at Texas, he's the coach of that team. They play hella good defense. They beat up Duke a lot, bro. I think that's what Duke ran into trouble. They just couldn't score against that Tennessee defense, and they like to run and get out in transition. I don't know. I kind of like Tennessee coming out this bracket, dog, to be honest. I agree with you on Kansas State beating Michigan State. I like Tennessee against FAU, and then I like Tennessee versus K-State. But I wouldn't be surprised if K-State beat them. But I just put my money. If I had to put my money on it, I go with Tennessee coming out the East.
Okay. That's not a bold pick or anything. I mean, that's definitely a smart pick.
Yeah,
but
you're splitting hairs with that too. With that
you really are. Give me K-State. I'm gonna roll K-State on that one. So I got K-State coming out of that bracket as of right now. So over here in the West, Corey, Arkansas upsetting Kansas Jayhawks. They're gone. Man. They're out of there. I told you the Jayhawks. I told you.
Did you see your buddy jump on the thing?
I told you that Kansas wasn't going back to back. I told you they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. That was your champion, was it not?
It was.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, you had them. So you got Arkansas versus UConn, which UConn is playing some damn good. They're a good basketball team. Yep. UConn has some playmakers, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you sit there and you're just looking at the box score of their last game against St. Mary's, right?
Right.
Their leading scorer, Sanogo. He's 6'9". He's a junior. He averages 17 points and almost 7.5 rebounds. We'll round that up to 8. And he shoots 60.5% from the field. Dude's an absolute baller. I couldn't remember his name, so I had to go look at the box score. But that dude's going to be a freaking top of the draft type player. He's nice. You know what I'm saying? They got balance over there. They got Hawkins at guard, Jordan Hawkins. I mean, I like the UConn Huskies team. I think in my bracket I had them going to the Sweet 16 to where they're at now, but I believe I had them losing if I'm not mistaken. I believe I had them losing their Sweet 16 because they're going up against Arkansas. I think I had Kansas going to at least the Elite Eight in this one. So
I like UConn against Arkansas.
What you say?
Roll with UConn. I like UConn against Arkansas, bro. I would definitely pick UConn right now against Arkansas.
You're picking UConn against Arkansas,
I'm picking UConn against Arkansas.
I can't argue with that. Now Arkansas did just take down the quote unquote number 1 seed. One of the best team, the defending champs. They did just take them down. And sometimes though, the emotion from that doesn't carry over well to the next game for you. And UConn, they just steadily 87-63 in their first round, 70-55 in the next round. They've just steadily probably were able to rest their guys towards the end of the game, everything else, but I think I'm with you there, UConn. Then you got Gonzaga and UCLA. Who are you taking in that one?
I'm taking UCLA, bro.
That's where I'm at as well. I had UCLA as one of my Final Four teams.
I believe, you did.
So I've got UCLA that's going to beat UConn in the Elite Eight.
Okay. I'm riding with
That's
that. I'll backdoor you on
and
that. I like
you,
UCLA coming out that bracket.
UCLA's got a squad.
Yeah, they do.
They got a squad over there.
Yeah.
So okay, so we got Tennessee. You got Tennessee out of that one. You got Kansas State. I got Kansas State. We both got UCLA there.
Yeah.
You got Xavier in Texas. We didn't pick that game. Who you
That's
got?
a whole different bracket. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's in the Midwest.
I like. Ooh, man. I like Texas, bro.
Texas?
I like Texas. And I believe this is one of your Final Four picks. I like Texas. I think their length and their athleticism kind of overwhelm Xavier. I think they're playing. I think they're hot at the right time. They just went through their Big 12 tournament and won it, so I like them.
They got a good. I mean, I hate talking about them. I mean, I really do, but they got a good basketball team. They definitely
really
have. They have a chance. They could win it all. They basically have the same roster from last season that they had. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Texas go to like the Elite Eight or something like that?
Yeah,
Sweet 16, Elite Eight. I can't remember exactly, but I know they were in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight. But I got them beating that Xavier team, and then I got them facing a Houston team, and that's what I was kind of telling you. Like, they're going to just basically be like, we're Texas, and you're Houston.
You're Houston.
You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like one of those, that's what you would think would happen. Now, granted,
right.
Houston is a very good basketball team. They have a good basketball team. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Houston still has to get past a Miami team that's sneakily good themselves, and they could definitely very capable of beating a Houston team.
I was
What
just
do
about
you
to say, Coach Larinaga out of Miami, bro. Those cats can play, man.
Oh,
they play a freestyle of basketball.
They're
like
a problem.
The way they get up and down, bro. They're a problem. That's not an easy. That's not an easy win for Houston at all.
At all.
That is at all, bro.
Miami's the one lone ACC team holding it down right now.
Yep, they really are. I don't see another ACC team in this.
They're not.
In this last 16.
They're not.
Man, wow.
They're not. So that's just the type of year it was in the ACC. It was a down year in the ACC this year, Corey. It was a down year.
Look at the Big 12. The Big 12's only got one team left.
Yeah.
Kansas State.
You got all the Oh no, they got Kansas State and Texas.
In Texas, I'm sorry. So two teams.
Yeah, they got
and
Texas.
The SEC's got one. They got two. They got three. They got three teams left in the last 16.
And then that little American Houston, UConn.
Yeah. The UConn's out the Big East, right? Or are they still American?
Oh, yeah, they are in the Big East. You're right. You're right. You're right. So
the SEC is definitely winning the best conference challenge right now, man. They put three of their teams in the Sweet 16. And nobody was really talking, even though they had good teams. I mean, Alabama, the number one team. Tennessee was in the top 10 a lot this year. Shoot, man, you got to give it up to the SEC, bro.
You do. You're absolutely right. You do. I mean, Alabama, like I told you, they have a real strong chance that they could cut down the nets. They have the best player remaining in this bracket, bar none.
Yeah.
No other team is competing with a Brandon Miller.
No.
That dude is an absolute freak on the basketball court.
He's going to be the number 2 pick in the draft, right behind Wembanyama. So,
man, there's nothing wrong with that. There's
nothing wrong with that. That's pretty good.
Future superstar. As long as all that gun stuff and all that other stuff is situated and there's no issues there, but man, I'll take him at number 2 for sure. He's probably, and I'm gonna say this, Wembanyama, all that, he's got all this hype, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nothing's guaranteed, Corey. And when a dude's that big, I mean, his joints and everything else, like, I'm not wishing injury on a dude. I'm not saying that at all. But it's just kind of like, man, this guy's already being crowned the king, and he hasn't even stepped foot on, like, an NBA basketball court yet.
Right. Right. No. Everybody sees the upside. They see the shooting ability, the skills, the ball handling skills, and nobody at that size, I don't think I've seen handle the ball like that and shoot from the outside. So they're calling him the best prospect since LeBron came out, which is crazy.
Crazy. That's
Think
wild.
about all the players that have
no,
been
he's getting
drafted
love.
after LeBron. Yeah.
No, he's getting love. He's getting love. I mean,
I really don't see somebody at number one passing on him, though, bro. I really don't see that.
No, never. No, you don't. No, I'm not saying I would either. I'm not saying that. That's not what I was intending to like. But it's like, man, dude that's that big, it's very rare that you see that like work out for a long extended period of time with a dude that's like that big. I mean, look at Kristaps Porzingis. He gets injured all the damn time.
All the time.
He's hurt all the time. It's because he's so damn tall.
He's a twig. Same with KD. KD didn't get injured as much, but the older he gets, the more he stays hurt.
KD hurt right now. He got hurt in the layup line, man. Don't even get me started on KD. That dude, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I get it. I get it. It's just the way he shoots the ball, man. You can't really teach that. But I see what you're saying. But yeah, Brandon Miller definitely number 2. I'm really excited to see out of all of these games who's like the second superstar that emerges. That's really going to make themselves a household name. You know what I mean? And make them sexy. Make it a sexy name for the draft when the draft happens. You know?
Right.
So we'll see. It was just such a crazy first weekend, bro. So much stuff happened that I can't pinpoint a guy right now. I'd have to see more basketball and see what happens this weekend, Thursday through Sunday. There's going to be a guy out of one of these teams, believe it, dog, that steps up and carries their team to the Final Four and has some big moments. So I'm waiting to see who that is.
Oh, there's some good teams left in this thing, man. I don't know. There's not one team that it's like, hey, that team's going to win it all. I don't know right now, man, to be completely honest with you. There's a few teams. I'm thinking in Alabama. I'm thinking of Texas. Damn, you got to throw Houston in the mix as well. You know what I'm saying? Kansas State, UCLA, UConn. Yeah. I mean, man, it's going to be this. I love March Madness. I love it. Even though my Blue Devils are out, I'm still going to watch the games just because it's like I want to know what happens. It's so fun to watch these every game, every single game.
There are some good ass games, man, and I kind of been down on the NCAA lately because of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Back when we watched it, teams stayed together longer. You know what I mean? And the one and done's kind of killed some of the excitement because there's guys that usually stick 2 or 3 years. But bro, the games that I saw this past weekend has definitely made me a believer again. It had me excited again. I saw some real good games, man.
They got some hoopers. They got some hoopers out there, man. For sure. Definitely. I hear you, man. I like what you're saying. It's just, I don't know, man. We're gonna see. I'm interested to see, so interested to see who wins it all. Because there's like I just told you, man, there's like 2 or 3 teams they're in my head right now that I'm like, this team's going to win it. So.
Yeah, it's anybody's game right now. That's what makes the tournament, baby. That's what makes it exciting.
You ain't lying there. You ain't lying.